For those of us who enjoy crafting our own wardrobe, it isn't just a fabulous hobby, it's also a powerful statement of personal style, creative self-expression, and of course, sustainability. But in order for our makes to have the impact that we desire, these garments need to be worn repeatedly and often, which means a lot of times they might need some updates and a little TLC every now and again in order to keep them fresh season after season. This Me Made May, we are celebrating the art of self-crafted clothing by revisiting some pieces that I sewed and crocheted over the past couple of years that need a little bit of love to bring them back into regular rotation in my wardrobe. Today I'll be making the necessary updates, repairs, or alterations that are needed. And I'm also excited to share some bold maximalist styling tips for each piece in order to inspire us to be able to maximize our wearability of these clothes as we bring them back to the vibrant, functional state that they deserve. A very happy Me Made May to you. For those who may not be familiar, let me quickly introduce the concept of Me Made May. This month-long celebration is about joyfully curating a self-made wardrobe that truly expresses your unique style and personality through your clothing, of course, in a sustainable way. While Me Made May has evolved a bit on social media into a challenge where very often people are listing all of the things that they're gonna try to like frantically make in the month of May, its original intent was actually quite different. The founder of Me Made May also hosts a podcast called Check Your Thread, which we cite often on my podcast, where home sewing meets high fashion threaded together. And the founder of Check Your Thread envisioned Me Made May originally as a time to focus on maximizing the potential of your past creations rather than just simply expanding your wardrobe without intention or thought. So in that spirit, our focus is going to be on refreshing these garments that I've already invested time and effort in making and getting them ready for the summer season. Everything that we're going to cover today really can be applied to any wardrobe, me made or not. Now, I would be remiss here if we didn't have a fit check that accompanied this video. So quickly, I am wearing a crocheted reversible tank top that I made last year. My favorite Me Made blue trousers that I wear all the time. No, I did not make this. Well, I'm wearing it as a jacket. It's actually a shirt that I'm wearing backwards. But again, we know sustainability is wearing what you have in your wardrobe. So isn't this just a great topper with it? Let's meet some of the items that we are going to be working on today. I feel like a game show host and I love it. First up, we have this terry towel romper made out of vintage towels. As you can see, it has a lot of like fringes and needs some hemming. And then we have the first pair of jeans that I ever made. They are absolutely incredible, but as you can see, they have a lot of areas where they're actually kind of falling apart. I do have a crochet item on here, and there's not really anything that needs to be repaired. It doesn't function the way I want it to, so I don't wear it. So I think this is something that I think if I just add some sort of bottom support to it, it'll make it a lot more functional. So we're going to tackle that today. You may recognize this romper made out of a vintage bedspread. I absolutely love it. I think this was one of the first things I ever sewed. So there's just a lot of loose threads, and I think that this is something that if I just spend some time with the machine, it's really gonna just perk it up a little bit and make it so much more comfortable to wear. So we're gonna tackle these 5 things in this order. And Frances is gonna help apparently. First up, my vintage towel romper. This is such an amazing piece to wear in the summer because it's made out of towels, so it soaks up everything. It's made out of a vintage 1940s step-in pattern, so a piece of lingerie, except for created now to be more of like a romper on its own. As you can see, there's tons of little threads and bits hanging off, which is just kind of the nature of terry toweling. when it's not bound properly. The main bit that I really want to tackle today is actually the hem of this shorts bit here. It hangs in this really fabulous drape around the leg, but I can't even tell if I bound it at all or if the binding has just come off over time, but both sides are slightly unraveling. Fixing hems is a common thing you come across as you wear your clothing. For this hem, the first step will be to bind off this really long ruffled short, and then the second step will be to see if we want to turn it under to really clean up that hem. So it turns out one of the sides actually did have a binding on it, and the way that you can tell is because what's coming off when I'm running this under the serger is not fully flying apart. So there was a stitch through here, but that shows you just how hard it is to see any white thread on this terry toweling fabric. I was contemplating whether I was gonna fold it over again for an even cleaner finish, but I don't think I'm going to. I think just like a nice serge edge is gonna be great as is. So really happy about that. And whether you have a serger or not, just making sure that hem is really secure and that your fabric is gonna stay together and not unravel is always a great thing to do before you head into a new season and plan to get a lot of wear out of it. Not much effort at all. I just went in and overlocked all of the internal seams, and I'm already so much more confident that this is now going to stand the test of time so much better. So let's get to styling it. This cozy terry toweling piece was intended to be used to maximize the absorbency of the fabric, so it can be worn on its own really easily, or with just a light jacket like this blue piece that I designed and made as a more obvious styling choice. I also, though, love the idea of treating the romper like it's a pair of overalls and adding a mesh layer in a contrasting print underneath for a nice warm weather ready look. I also want to try it with an oversized t-shirt and dress it down a little bit. I am so incredibly in love with the way of styling this. I originally was going to try this with more of like a white shirt, but I love the graphic contrast. And this wasn't something that I really could envision wearing out and about, since it does have that very towel-like feel to it. It does feel very holiday. However, worn like this with like a little bit of a cowboy boot situation tossed in, I feel like I'm ready for pretty much anything. This might be my new summer go-to, so I'm really glad I tried playing around with styling this a few more ways. I've learned a lot since making these jeans. One of those things I learned being what a basting stitch was, but I didn't know when I was making these jeans. I'm shocked they've held together as well as they did. I think part of it is because I did flat felled seams on them, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that these were sewn entirely with a basting stitch. So that's why things are just coming apart. So I'm gonna see if I can give these guys a little bit of a boost. So I'll drop a little before and after here because I think it's kind of hard to see any changes, but the pockets are now really secure. I went through and actually reinforced all of the seams. I'm not worried they're gonna fall off while I'm wearing them anymore. Love how distressed these have started to look. Very Dame Vivienne Westwood inspired. These are probably some of the easiest things to style because you just can wear them with anything you'd wear regular denim with, and it instantly elevates your outfit because they are such a fabulous fun print. But something else I might want to do is I don't really ever dress these up, so let's kind of tackle that for a moment. Dressing this up, I think a really fun addition here is this silver quilted kind of corsety vest that I made. It does have a little bit of a Vivienne reference, but let's leave that behind quickly as we add in this Simone Rocha semi-sheer number that I really love layering over other pieces because even though, yes, it's a dress and it does hide a lot of the denim, it still is pretty sheer, so you can get a little peek through and it really elevates the look. A fun pair of Proenza Schooler platforms gets us ready for summer, and I think we need a statement earring here. I absolutely love how this is coming together, and I hope this is inspiring you to dress up your denim as well. Time for some crochet. I want to show you how this little top fits on, because there's fundamentally nothing wrong with it, but there's also just nothing really that right with it either. One of the thoughts that I had came from just some thoughts around bras, which is that the bottom band is really where a lot of the support comes from. Right now, this is just non-stretch and just pretty tight here, which makes it not delightful to get on and off. And as you can see, I think I just slip stitched the back close, so there's no stretch down here, and then there's just a lot of give up here. It really doesn't have any shape. I've done a bit of soul searching when it comes to this crochet bra top. Here's where that styling bit that we were talking about really can come into play to help influence some of these decisions. I have worn this top before. When I was thinking about how I was going to style it for this video, I had envisioned it over a gorgeous voluminous dress, very a la Simone Rocha. And so I was thinking, if I did just decide to take it apart and not have that item, would I miss it in my wardrobe? And the answer was actually yes, I would. So even though I could take it apart and make it a future project to replace it, our objective today was to work with what we already have. So we are gonna add some elastic and maybe some other detailing to make it pop a little bit more. I'm gonna take it apart. Goodbye. Slip stitch, join. Now we're no longer attached. With elastic of any kind, you need to secure it and then have a channel it runs through to allow that stretch to gather the material. This is true for sewing, knitting, crocheting, all of the things. And here's where crossing disciplines is actually really helpful. We have made our channel in the back of this little bralette. Basically what it means is this is a tube here, and how I did that was I just crocheted off of it and then attached it at the top. And then what I can do, this is actually a great way to show how to thread a channel here with some elastic, because there's actually so many holes, so it makes it really easy. So I can just kind of stick it in the top here. If I feed it through, and this really wasn't that much work. I think it took me more time to think about what I was going to do with it than it actually did to do some of the crochet work. Since the elastic is a lot shorter than the channel, before I get it all the way through, I want to make sure I secure it using just a little fabric clip thingy. So as I'm pulling through, I don't want it to come out this side. So that's what that clip is doing. I'm going to stitch the edges here using my machine to just really secure the edges of the elastic. Oh, that's looking so cool. If you have a mannequin, great time to use it, because then you can kind of mess around with things without having to try it on. So a couple of things here. First of all, I'm really happy with the way the elastic has actually given this some tension to work with at the back, but now that also means, unless I want it to fit very like loose sports bra-y, I need to have fasteners to close it rather than just pulling it over the top like it initially was designed to do. So I'm thinking buckles on the back here, and then maybe one up here. But already you can see with this underneath the bust, that's looking so much better. See, and Francis agrees. Testing this first buckle here, what I've done is I've actually just kind of crocheted off of here, then pulled it through and attached it on the other side. It's not the cutest crochet work I have ever done. And then I've only attached one clip so far to the other side, but I want to make sure it's working first. So let's see. Moment of truth. And that looks so good. Okay, so I have to add the other clip up here, and then you're actually creating this little keyhole thing, which is kind of cute. A day has passed and my hair has gotten bigger in anticipation. I may have gone a little off the deep end with this crochet bralette and crossed a bit more into the upcycling category. So let's take a look at what I did here. I completed adding that second buckle, and then I really leaned into that Simone Rocha reference with some added pearl details crocheted in. They not only make the piece look more elevated, they also add some much needed strength, since it was originally crocheted in a raw wool and was stretching out due to the weight of just being worn. So now for the really fun part, let's style it. This is by far one of the biggest, most voluminous dresses that I own. And when I thought about what I might want to wear this bra top with, it had instantly jumped to mind. I'm gonna wear it over these silver wide leg trousers that I already had on, and bonus points if you notice they're the same fabric as the vest that I was wearing earlier. The stranded pearls crocheted into this top really add something special to it, and I love the newly shaped keyhole in the back. I don't really think this outfit needs anything else other than what it already has. This crochet bralette has gone from something that I would avoid wearing to something that I want to wear all of the time now. And I just love how it looks in this outfit. Next, we have this romper that was made out of an old duvet, which is so much fun. I love upcycling textiles. Some of my finishings in here need to just be cleaned up a little bit. The last time I wore it, somebody commented to me that it was falling apart a little bit, so some of the edges need to be kind of repaired there. The sleeve hems just need to be like tidied up a little bit. And one of the reasons that I'm so eager to make sure the inside looks as good as the outside on this is I have a way that I want to style this that requires that it look a little bit cleaner. So I'll show you in a moment. The main objective with this was really to clean up the cuffs and the hem, and I feel like that worked really well, doing that stitching there to just kind of keep everything intact. And then again on the hem where there's still some extra threads, but it's so much cleaner and there's not like chunks of fabric really sticking up anymore. This is a pretty easy piece to wear just as is. And it is already looking so much better with all of the edges cleaned up. However, one way I'm really excited to wear this that I found I was doing a lot last summer, and it's something I do with a lot of my jumpsuits, is just folding it down and tying the arms around the waist and then treating it more like it's just like a high-waisted pair of shorts. As you can see, just by kind of tying the arms like that and with a little bit of a shift in the shape, lowering where the shorts sit, you would start to see some of those unfinished edges more. What a fun way to get even more use out of a nice little romper in the summertime. I hope this is inspiring you to repair something or dig something out of your closet and play around with styling it so you can get it back into rotation. And if it is inspiring you, I want to know what you're thinking about tackling in the comments. I've been super inspired. Last night I took this harness that I had made and I wasn't planning on doing anything with it, but it had a broken snap, and so I decided I would finally get to fixing it so that I can start wearing it around again. It's so cute. Even I'm getting inspired to fix up things. And if you're enjoying this type of upcycling, restyling content, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so I can get working on the next sustainable fashion journey that I'm sure you will love. Thank you again for watching. Happy Me Made May, and I'll see you next time.